The night parliament will be unique and interesting. It would be a contest of ideas between the super NDC majority and the mini-micro NPP minority. Mr. Speaker, what happened on the 7th of December polls was a revolution, the people's revolution, what I call it. It was a revolt against a government that is obstinate, insensitive, high-handed, and dismissive of public opinion. It was a revolt against a government that called people with dissenting views names such as detractors, cynics, naysayers. Mr. Speaker, sometimes they call views of dissenting people as Sambalat and Tobias. Ghanaians have clearly shown that they cannot be taken for granted, and that when it matters the most, they will either reward those in office or punish those in office. Right Honorable Speaker, it is obvious that MPP has been punished for its poor governance, economic mismanagement, obstinacy, greed, state capture, arrogance of power, impunity, disrespect, lawlessness, and persecution of political opponents. Mr. Speaker, the lesson is that what happened to the MPP and the outgoing government is that the political class cannot and should not take the people of Ghana for granted. This calls for introspection on the part of the political class. It is also a call for deep soul searching on the part of those in leadership who ought to have been heard when government engages in acts of impunity, lawlessness, and destruction. To my cherished NDC political party and the incoming government, may we never become like the Akufo-Addo Bawumia government. Right Honorable Speaker, we have to be different. We cannot be like the NPP government. We may be guided by the principles of integrity, probity, and accountability. Mr. Speaker, the time has come for us to do right by the people of Ghana at all times and to champion people-centered policies that genuinely benefit the voter and the ordinary Ghanaian, not the political class and its cronies. Right Honorable Speaker, indeed it is finished.
Honorable members, it's now the turn of the majority leader, Honorable Ebenezer Afenyo-Markin. You are still my son, it doesn't matter.
Mr. Speaker, now is Alexander Ebenezer.
Sorry, Alexander.
Mr. Speaker, let me take this opportunity to also welcome you into the House and welcome my colleagues, led by Dr. Kesiel Atufosin, back into this honorable chamber. Indeed, it is an established constitutional custom that once in every 4 years, the people of this country are given the opportunity to elect their leaders. First, the President of the Republic, and second, parliamentarians, the people's representatives. On the 7th of December, this mandate was rightfully exercised by the people of Ghana. They did so peacefully, without fear. They have elected a president and members of parliament. It is without doubt that our friends in the NDC have emerged victorious. And I take this opportunity to congratulate the leader of the minority side and his team for such an unprecedented feat. I also congratulate His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama on his election. Mr. Speaker, Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia did something very unprecedented. We've never witnessed it in the history of our politics before. Relying on his own internal collation, at 9 a.m. on Sunday, he publicly acknowledged the outcome of the elections, conceded and congratulated the president-elect, who was yet to be officially declared by the Electoral Commission. Mr. Speaker, such a move by him was very historic and commendable. Today, we are here because of that singular action. Today, we are here because all of us collectively acknowledged that all we have is our democracy. Mr. Speaker, permit me to take us through memory lane. Mr. Speaker, in 1997, after the 1996 elections, the NDC received an overwhelming victory, and the MPP had only 61 in this chamber. It was a 200-member chamber. The NDC was only short of one seat to get the 2/3. But I am happy to say that that supposed mini minority, micro minority, as pronounced by Dr. Kesilato Forsen, emerged victorious in less than in just 4 years because of hard work. They turned the minority into a majority when it came to the 2000 elections. Mr. Speaker, again, in 2012, the MPP suffered another defeat, and the NDC had a majority. In 2016, another historic feat was achieved by the MPP, where we had overwhelming majority in this chamber of 169 seats. In less than 4 years, we started going back. And by the time the people exercised their mandate again, the 169 had reduced into 137, plus our independent who caucused with us, and we made it to 138. Dr. Forsen, I have heard you. You have overwhelming majority. But that majority will start reducing from the 8th of January. And I know that come 2028, we will be in the majority. Already, we are experiencing some encircling gloom. This darkness we are seeing, and looking at your posture, we know that you have promised a lean government. You say less than 40 ministers. And you, the MPs, yes. Mr. Speaker, I know they can't take it. Now that we are coming into minority, be prepared. Be prepared. You see you can't take it. You see you can't take it. Mr. Speaker, even if your flag bearer, who is now president-elect, said 60, we are going to see how many of you will make it. We are going to see. You said 60 ministers and deputy ministers, all inclusive 60. Mr. Speaker, we are going to see how you are going to protect the public purse. We hear from Honorable Setekwe that you cannot implement the free SHS. We await the outcome of your policies. Mr. Speaker, we are aware that this incoming government is going to implement this Nkukon Ketenkete policy. The Nkukon Ketenkete is a social intervention program. We are going to welcome it. But you say you are going to reduce taxes. You are going to repeal the betting tax, the e-levy. You are going to repeal all these taxes. You are going to reduce the taxes at the port. We wonder where you get the money to implement the Nkukon Ketenkete. We are waiting. Mr. Speaker, these are on a lighter note. But Mr. Speaker, clearly, this is a time for us to reflect, particularly those of us getting into opposition. Indeed, no party can run a perfect government in this country. When you get into government, whilst you are happy to implement your policies, you are likely to make some mistakes. We concede that some mistakes were made. We concede that we couldn't have done everything perfect. The people have spoken, we've accepted it. But Mr. Speaker, the coming days and years will reveal the true colors of this umbrella. And the elephant will be watching keenly in this chamber. Mr. Speaker, this House looks forward to a leadership that will keep us going and keep the lights on in this chamber. Mr. Speaker, let me commend you for the 4 years of your leadership in this House. Mr. Speaker, we may have our disagreements, but it is obvious that members' welfare have been key to your leadership. Nobody can take it away from you. Mr. Speaker, the institutional empowerment you've given to Parliament is equal to none. It's largely because, Mr. Speaker, we had you as a speaker coming from within. Mr. Speaker, I don't know whether you are being retained or a new person is going to be appointed, but I pray that if they decide, Mr. Speaker, if they sack you, Mr. Speaker, of all that you've done for them, they are going to sack you. Of all that Mr. Speaker has done for you, you are going to sack Mr. Speaker. We will see. Mr. Speaker, if they decide to retain you, I know Parliament is going to benefit. But should they decide to retire you, Mr. Speaker, they can do it. Oh, they can do it. They are unpredictable. They can do it. If they decide to retain you, the happiness of this House will gather further momentum. However, if the new government decides to bring a new speaker, that speaker should come from within. We don't want an outsider. We want somebody from within who would understand us. But Mr. Speaker, having said that, we have some major government business outstanding that I would want to encourage colleagues that within the few days and weeks left, we should do everything possible to deal with these government business so that we can say that it is indeed finished. Mr. Speaker, there are also some important welfare matters that I would want to pledge to my colleagues, that together with my colleague Dr. Casey Latofosen, who by virtue of his position in the transitional arrangement so far, I know he would understand the need to cooperate to ensure the happiness of members. I cannot foresee members being happy to do the rest of government business when we've not dealt with the issues of welfare. Mr. Speaker, these matters must be attended to. Members have projects outstanding in their constituencies. We need to together work and ensure that statutory funds that are outstanding are released so that members can continue their projects, hand them over, especially those who are leaving us. Mr. Speaker, to colleagues who could not make it, there's a better day tomorrow. Do not give up. The Frenchman will say, c'est la vie. This is life. There are good days and bad days. If you lost, get back to the people, understand them, do some research, and I'm quite sure that upon that and reflection, you'll be better prepared for a better day tomorrow. There are some amongst us who lost elections and came back. Go to them, consult them, and engage them. And if you are desirous of remaining in public life, I'm sure you'll make it the next time around. For those of us who have won, let us be mindful of the needs of our people. We should really evaluate, assess, and critically analyze our votes. Those that were coming down, we should know what the people are telling us, so that we'll be better prepared for the next election in terms of the decisions that we'll take. Mr. Speaker, with this, I would want to again welcome colleagues and thank also the parliamentary service staff. They've been our silent enablers, encouraging us, supporting us. You know, Mr. Speaker, they make us function and function effectively. To them, I say thank you. We appreciate your work in silence. God will richly bless you for all you do in silence for the benefit of the people's representatives. Mr. Speaker, without more, let me thank you for this opportunity, and I say may God bless this house. Thank you.